Welcome to Money, Manifestation, and Business, the podcast that shows you how to use your energy, intention, and consciousness to reprogram your money mindset, unleash a new level of possibility, and create a life and business that lights you up. I'm your host, Jamie Berman, and I invite you to join me each week for a dose of inspiration, coaching, and teachings to help you rewrite your money story, create abundance on your terms, and grow your business in a way that's fully aligned for you. This is going to be so much fun. Let's dive in. Today, I thought I would do a different kind of episode where I take you a little bit deeper into my life and share some of the manifestation hacks that work for me. And I say manifestation hacks because I am talking about 15 different things that I have done and changed in the last 15 years that has completely changed my vibration, right? That has helped heighten my vibration, has helped me evolve into the highest, best version of me. That's how I like to think of it. And here's the thing is some of these things that I talk about, it's going to be like, how exactly is that correlated to money? How is that correlated to manifestation or business? And here's the thing is our vibration is correlated to everything in our lives. When it comes down to it, it is our main vibration that attracts things into our lives or repels things, right? It's our vibration that helps us manifest. Now, I don't want you to be scared by this word vibration because I think what some people think I mean, and I've made this mistake myself, is thinking that vibration means every emotional state that we have, right? If we have a day where we're just in a dark place or we wake up in a bad mood or we're on our cycle and it's just a really tough, moody week, we're like, oh no, my vibration is this attracting negative things into my life. And that is not how I think of vibration, right? No matter what, as humans, we are going to have a 50-50 experience of emotions. And when I say 50-50, I mean, we are going to experience the full spectrum, meaning there's always going to be contrast. There's going to be happiness and there's going to be sadness, and there's going to be love and there's going to be grief, and there's going to be extreme excitement and thrill, and there's going to be extreme disappointment and heaviness, right? So we are never going to not experience all of these emotions as humans. That's not what I mean by vibration. Vibration is what is the energetic state you are in most often. What is behind the emotions? Where is it that you're coming from, right? It's like, I think of it more as where are you in consciousness, right? Are you aware of your emotions? Are you conscious of what you're feeling? What is the state behind what you're feeling? That's how I think of vibration. And vibration is affected by so many different things. It's affected by, of course, the thoughts that we think most often, our belief systems, but it's also affected by the circumstances that we decide to bring into our lives, right? It has a lot to do with our environment, the people that we surround ourselves with, the day-to-day choices that we make. What food do we put in our mouth? What do we do each week? That also affects our vibration. And there are certain things that I have shifted, and I was just looking at like over the past 15 years, what are the 15 things that I have changed and shifted that have helped heighten my vibration, right? That have taken me out of heaviness. That's kind of how I think about it is what are some of the things that used to weigh me down that I've let go of, which allows my main vibrational state to increase, even if I have moody weeks, right? It's like my main vibrational state has increased thanks to maybe some of the things that I've let go of or sort of some of the things that I've started doing. So I want to go through this list of the 15 things that I think have made the biggest difference, the biggest impact on my life. And because of these things, and because I've been consistent with them, it's helped evolve me. It's helped me raise my vibrational state and therefore attract more amazing things into my life and manifest more amazing things. And I think these things really do go hand in hand with business. They go hand in hand with money. They go hand in hand with relationships, with clients, all the things. So I want to touch on them today because I think it'll be a great opportunity for you to reflect on the things in your life that you've shifted so that you can celebrate those things and recognize, hey, these things really help to heighten my vibrational state. So therefore, they should be a priority in my life, or it gives you permission to make them a priority in your life, right? And it also might help you reflect on what are some of the things that lower my vibration and are not serving me that I could intend to really make a shift around. So I hope this is inspiring. And the other thing that I want to mention before I dive into these things is that there's no one size fits all, right? So these are the things that have worked for me, but it doesn't mean that you have to go change these 15 things, that you have to start doing these 15 things. Each of us comes in with a different soul, with a different life curriculum, with different desires, with different patterns. And I think it's so important to honor that and to recognize that what heightens your vibration might be different than mine. And it probably will be. Some of the things might be the same and some might be totally different. So just consider that as I'm going through it. But I thought this would also be just a good way to get to know me and what do I do that really helps me? And what are some of the things that have been tough in my life that I have worked through and let go of, just so that we can get to know each other a little bit better. All right. Oh, and I also wanted to mention, so one of the things or one of the people that inspired me around making these changes in my life, there's been many people, but one in particular is Wayne Dyer. I love me some Wayne Dyer. He was probably one of my first manifestation teachers, which I didn't even know he was my manifestation teacher, but I used to watch him as a kid, like on Oprah, right? My mom would have Oprah on and he would be on the show, and I just loved his work. And when I was in my early 20s, I read the book, The Power of Intention. And he talks about how everything that we do and everything in the world has energy to it, right? It has intention in it. And so it's really important that we align ourselves with the things that heighten that vibration, that heighten that energy, and to be aware of what are the things that have a lower vibration to them. And when I read through that book and he gave a lot of examples, that's what really has inspired me to initially start making some changes around this. So, if you want to dive into that book, it's so good. I actually love the Audible version of it because he reads it and I've listened to it so many times. So, I always love to recommend a good book. That is a fantastic book. And I'm going to go through some of the intentions that I've set that have helped me raise my vibration and therefore manifest more amazing things into my life. It's had a massive ripple effect. Okay, so let's get started. The first one is, and this one might be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Meditation, a meditation practice, right? This is one that we probably hear. It's kind of common in terms of a self-care practice, but that's because it is so effective. So effective. So I probably started meditating, I would say it was probably probably 9 years ago. And also, side note, these are not in order. This is like over the past 15 years, I kind of just jotted them down. So this was probably 8 years ago that I started, meditating regularly. And I don't even remember how I got inspired to start meditating exactly. Maybe it was through the University of Santa Monica when I started studying there. Also, my husband just randomly, we kind of got into this at the same time. He picked up a Pema Chodron book, who is an amazing Buddhist teacher and meditation teacher. And I know he was reading her book and he started meditating. And I don't know, we kind of go through the same flow. So it might have been around that time that I'm like, I'm going to start meditating too. Or maybe he inspired me. I can't exactly remember why I did it, but here's what I do remember. I remember that I started out doing 1 minute a day. I remember thinking, I am not going to be able to meditate 10 minutes a day. There is no way. My mind is cuckoo. There's no way I can quiet it. And in fact, I couldn't even quiet it for a minute a day. But what I had learned is that it's not about quieting your mind. That is impossible. That is not going to happen. It's about learning how to sit with an active mind and be still, right? Be that witness of your mind and start noticing the thoughts, right? And then bring yourself back with your breath or, with a mantra. But it's just about starting to recognize the mind that is active. Your mind is not going to necessarily shut down, especially in the beginning of meditating, right? I sometimes get to that state 8, 9 years in, but I still, most of the time, am just watching the mind, bringing myself back. Sometimes I get sucked back into the story, and then it's about intentionally bringing it back. Now, why this meditation practice has heightened my vibration. And there's a reason I put it as number one, because I think it's probably made one of the biggest differences ever. Because once you start witnessing your mind and start learning to still it and see yourself as separate from your mind, it changes everything. You realize you are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. You are not your beliefs. And the more you do it, I've noticed the more I can separate myself from it and recognize, oh, this is the story. And then there's me, my soul, my spirit that's behind that story. And I can connect to that. And I think of meditation now as connecting with God, right? Connecting with my highest self, my soul, spirit, universe. It's getting out of my ego, right? And I find the more that I do that, the more grounded that I feel, the more my nervous system settles, the more creative I am, right? So it's now a daily practice. And really, I don't meditate a long time now. It's moved from, I started with 1 minute a day for probably a full year. And then I started moving up to maybe 5 minutes a day. And I did that for a couple years. Now I do 10 minutes a day. And my favorite meditation is from Locke Kelly. He's one of my favorite meditation teachers. In fact, I'm going to go to a meditation retreat with him later this year, and I'm so excited. But I really love his meditations on really being able to release yourself and unhook yourself from your mind and be the awake awareness, like moving your consciousness and noticing that you're so much more than your body. You're so much more than your mind. You're so much more than your feelings. And it's starting to really move outside of the body and be able to watch the body have this experience. So that's the practice that I do daily now. And it's such a game changer. And again, if you want to start meditating, I highly recommend just starting with 1 minute a day, and do not expect that your brain is not going to have thoughts. In fact, if you want to just get started, all you have to do is say, okay, I'm just going to sit here and pause and be with myself in silence while I breathe, even if it's uncomfortable, for just 1 minute. And you can practice other things too. There's guided meditations. You can practice feelings as you meditate, embodying different feelings. There's visualizations, right? There's many ways you can go. But I do know for sure that if you start a meditation practice, it will absolutely 100,000% help you with manifesting. Okay. Now, number two, another thing that I think has made one of the biggest differences for me is that I quit drinking, right? I no longer drink alcohol. And again, this is one that just for me, it just doesn't work for me. For other people, I know that you can have like a healthy relationship with it. And in fact, what's funny is when I quit drinking, I didn't even have an unhealthy relationship with it. I just noticed I didn't feel great afterwards. I didn't like the way that I felt. I would get headaches. The next day, I would feel groggy. I wouldn't sleep well. So I just I don't like anything that makes me like not feel good. So I actually, it's so funny because I used to drink a lot. Um, but this was way back in the day, right? So high school, college, I was a drinker and I drank to deal with social anxiety. I noticed that if I drank, I suddenly became really funny and really extroverted, which is something that usually takes me some time to warm up to being a little more extroverted and funny and all those things. But when I drank, I could be that right away, and people loved it and they thought it was hilarious. And I was crazy. So I used to drink a lot. And I remember I got to my 21st birthday, and y'all, this is cuckoo. You are not going to believe this, but me and my friends in college, for our 21st birthdays, we had this thing where we would have a shot book. And on our 21st birthday, all of our friends would get together. And over the course of 24 hours, we would start the night before and go 24 hours into our birthday. We did 24 shots in 24 hours. No, let me take that back. 21 shots in 24 hours for our 21st birthday. I remember after that night being like, I think I'm done drinking. I hit 21 and I am done. I was like, this is horrible, right? It was the worst hangover of my entire life. Obviously, 21 shots. Like, what? Yeah. So I remember thinking that, but actually, what I did was at 21, I cut back on drinking from where I was because I realized I am not going to get anywhere in life if I keep this up, right? I was drinking quite a bit, and it was a buffer and it was a way to deal with things that I didn't want to look at. I didn't know that at the time, but I did realize if I want to build this epic life for myself, if I want to manifest amazing things, and those that wouldn't have been the language that I used back then, but I always had like a dream and a vision for myself, and I knew that that vision was not a match for the version of me who was drinking a lot. So I cut back significantly, but it was probably about, again, 9 years ago that I just decided I didn't want to drink at all, right? Because it was like, it affected my health. I realized I didn't like the way that I felt. I also had heard Eckhart Tolle say, whenever you drink, you actually take yourself below thought, right? And I'm big on my vibration. I'm like, wait a minute, if this is bringing me below thought, right? Even though it feels good to drink and you get in this great mood, you never feel great afterwards, or at least for me. So I was like, it brings me down. And that just clicked for me. But when he said it brings you below thought, I'm like, I don't want to do that. And I remember like every retreat that I would go to, whether it was through USM, the school that I studied at, basically did a retreat every month, like a deep, deep dive. And they would always recommend not drinking. They were like, you're in this heightened state. If you drink, it's going to bring you down. So I remember hearing that over and over. And I thought, that's not just the case post retreat. That's the case every day. That's the case on weekends. So I just quit drinking. I totally quit cold turkey. It was a bit challenging because I definitely had a social life that involved drinking. A lot of my friends liked drinking with me. They liked the version of Jamie that drank because she, again, was very extroverted and hilarious and wild, and they didn't like it. But I did the inner work around that, and I let people be disappointed that I didn't drink anymore, right? And I let myself be a little more boring at parties, and I let myself figure out, how do you go to a wedding and dance when you're not tipsy? Like, what? Like, that's weird. I dance awkward when I'm not tipsy, and I just let it be awkward for a while. So I did do some inner work around that, but it's really one of the best decisions that I've ever made. And like, me and Josh just got back from Cabo from a vacation where it was an all inclusive, had like, of course, all these fancy alcoholic drinks. And, we paid a pretty price for this 5-star all inclusive experience. And, the pastor would have been like, wait, I need to take advantage. I should get a drink, right? The like old version of me. But we were both talking about it and we're like, God, I'm so glad like we didn't have any alcohol. Like just we feel so good. I had a mocktail and that was good. Like one mocktail a day did it for me. And it's just like, God, it feels so good to feel good. It feels so good to sleep well at night. Um, so that's definitely raised my vibration. Okay. Another one is um, moving my body every day. This is huge for me. It totally makes a difference. Oh my God, does movement change your energetic state? Just a walk will even do it. And honestly, that's what I've been doing mostly lately. Although I do love good solid, hard strength training, but I don't have my trainer anymore. And I know I've mentioned this on here. I need to stop making that an excuse. But yeah, training really, I love it. I love doing like hard workouts and the way that you feel afterwards. But honestly, any movement will do. So I've been doing a lot of walking lately and just walking, and that will change your energetic state. You move your body every day, you will notice a massive difference. And so that is something that no matter what, I mean, if it's raining out, I'll have to, go up to my little gym and do a little, YouTube yoga session or something because it makes all the difference. Even if it's just a walk on your lunch break, just notice the difference. In fact, me and my husband yesterday, it had been raining all weekend and he was sick. We just got back from vacation. And so we hadn't had quite as much movement the past couple of days because we were traveling and all of that. And we were noticing we were a little grumpy in the morning. We went out, got a coffee. It was Sunday. And then we just went for a walk in the park and we were like, wow, we feel so much better afterwards. That was amazing. And we walked literally like a mile and a half and that was it. So daily movement will raise your vibration. Set the intention. It doesn't have to be hard. And that's the other thing is I think sometimes we overwhelm ourselves with, I have to do all these things right away. I would pick one thing. Like I said, like this has been over a 15-year period where these things have become habits, but I started with every single one of them very small, right? So start small, pick one thing at a time. Do not overwhelm yourself. Another thing that I noticed makes a huge difference for me is I go on at least 2 retreats a year. And oftentimes it's spiritual retreats, sometimes it's more business retreats or mastermind, but being surrounded by an energy of people that's like minded that also help you raise your vibration because maybe they believe in you or they have positive thoughts about certain things or they're able to reflect or mirror things about you or for spiritual retreats just getting in silence and being surrounded by an amazing teacher who's awakened and can really help raise your consciousness. My gosh, does it make a difference? I just noticed it so much. And it's also why I started offering retreats in my business. So I'm offering 2 retreats every year. We have one coming up in September. If you want to come in San Diego, it's going to be amazing. The last one was absolutely incredible because when you're just surrounded by that energy, it naturally raises your vibration so high. Like I had clients who were like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just went through a 6-month coaching container in 2 days, right? It's like the amount that you can learn and grow and evolve and just get into a heightened state. It really lasts too. It lasts. That's why I do it twice a year because I'm like, this one will last me 6 months. So again, yeah, I'm doing my next one. The one that I'm personally going to is Locke Kelly's retreat in Big Sur, which I'm so excited about. Again, he's been my meditation teacher from like I just listen to his Audible and I do his meditations for the past probably 4 years. And now I'm so excited to go and actually do a retreat with him. I've also done retreats with Eckhart Tolle. I've done retreats with Christine Hassler, who's a coach. I've done I just did a retreat last month called the Coaches Social, which was really just like a social retreat of getting coaches together with my friends, Laura Conley. So all the retreats that I do, they're very different, right? But they all make such a difference. And I noticed leaving feeling so energized, even as an introvert. It makes a difference to be in that energy. It's like a concentrated container of good energy for like a couple days straight. And my gosh, does it do the soul wonders? That's how I think of it. Okay. Another one that I have done like over the past 15 years, and dive into some of the others, choosing friends wisely. This is big, right? It's similar to retreats in terms of like the people that you surround yourself by matter, right? Because they are energetic beings and you being around their energy, you have to ask yourself, do I like being in the presence of this person? Do I feel better when I'm around them? Do they raise my vibration? Or am I constantly feeling like it's heavy and I'm tired afterwards? Because if so, it may be time to reevaluate that friendship, right? Friendships can evolve. It's totally okay. And mine have, and I've had to evaluate friendships. And it's not even a problem. I just sometimes think of it as like our karma is complete, right? If it's not someone who, or sometimes it's just like I'll cut back on a friendship where it's like, no, I don't want to like leave this friendship completely, but I notice the energy of it doesn't feel like something that I want to be around all the time, right? And so I just cut back a little bit and do it in a way where it does feel like it allows my vibrational state to be heightened, right? And be as high as it can be, I guess. Okay. Another one, this one, okay, I was like, should I put this in here? Shouldn't I? It probably sounds really bad. But one of the things, I'm leaving it in because y'all are going to get to know me. All right. That's the intention of this. So one of the things that I think has raised my vibration the most, it probably sounds really bad, but moving away from my family. I'm not kidding. This has raised my vibration so much. And not to say I don't love my family. I do. Like, I love my family. They're hilarious. They're the best. I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. I have 3 nieces and nephews on, my immediate family. And then I do have, my in-laws are a little bit closer, but me and Josh are the only family members really that live in LA. We have some cousins, but right, we're like the only like immediate family members that live in LA and how, in Maui. And it's truly one of the best things that I ever did. One of the best decisions that I ever made. And I find that it's easier to love my family from afar, right? And I really noticed that boundaries make such a difference. Like I said, I love my family. They're hilarious. They're the best. When we get together, we have the best time. I love seeing my siblings. I love seeing my parents. It's the best. Like we went and spent Christmas in St. Louis and we just laughed. Like there's nothing like family and that connection. But I do notice that whenever I was around it too much, it totally, because I grew up, and this is something I haven't really talked about on the podcast, but I grew up with alcoholism in my family. And unfortunately, that's really, really challenging. So if anyone grew up with parents with addiction, it's like a roller coaster. And no matter how much healing you've done personally, at least for me, I'll speak for myself, no matter how much healing I've done, which there is so much healing. When you're in the presence of it all the time, right, it brings up trauma responses. I get re-triggered again and again and again. And I just decided I can't be around this. It's not mine to do, right? I used to think it was. I tried to solve it. I tried to fix it, but you can't do that for other people. So I realized I have to stay in my own lane. And the way that I can love my family the most and my energy the highest is to have really solid boundaries and to not live close. And it really was one of the best decisions that I ever made. It cleared my mind. It allowed me so much healing. And again has raised my vibration in a way that it's just hard to describe. And then what's so great is it allows me to have the best relationship with my family ever because, again, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So whenever I do see them, it's amazing, right? And I have even boundaries whenever I go there. I stay in a hotel so that if there's situations that I don't want to be around, I can remove myself. So that's one where it was like, if I'm being honest, this has made one of the biggest differences in my life, and I'm not going to not share it, right? And my family even listens to this podcast. My mom listens, right? She loves manifestation. She's like, Jamie, this is good, right? And she knows, she gets it, she understands. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, that's made a huge difference for me. For sure. Okay, I'm going through these so slow. I gotta speed it up, or I might have to just do two parts. Okay, another one that has raised my vibration significantly is getting regular coaching, have gotten therapy, let's put it this way, having regular healing, whether that's coaching, therapy, being inside of a course or a program or a mastermind, having consistent healing and doing inner work and having support, life changing, absolutely life changing, all of it, right? And I've done so many, I've been with so many different teachers, had different coaches, and it's changed my life. And doing that work and having that support consistently for sure keeps my vibrational state higher. And this is actually how I think about the work that I do as a coach, whether that's in the money manifestation movement or in the Soulful Six Figure Mastermind or at my retreats. What my intention is to help bring my clients back to their highest state, right? That's what we do in the coaching. That's what the support is for. It's like, okay, there are going to be challenges in business. You're reworking your relationship with money, but let's bring your vibration higher. Let's bring your intention higher. Let's work through this thing together and offer support so that they can keep their vibration high. Even though in business, it can be kind of like on a human level, feel like a roller coaster sometimes. And doing that work or allowing myself to receive that in terms of support, game changer, right? It's definitely helped my manifestation practice 100,000%. I can see the difference of whenever I started receiving coaching. I think my first coach was probably when I did my first retreat. I'm not great with like dates and stuff. It was probably like 10 years ago, in terms of remembering when that was or how old was I. But I'm going to guess, I'm estimating it was about 10 years ago. And in the past 10 years, my life has significantly changed in every way. Like I've manifested the most things in the past 10 years versus any other time in my life. And it's because I've done a lot of inner work, had a lot of healing, had a lot of coaching. So for sure that makes a difference. Another one for me is living in a warm environment. So I had said moving away from my family, right? Because I lived in the Midwest, it got cold. I love warmth. Like that is something about me. I feel like I'm allergic to cold. My husband will agree because he's like, oh my God, I've never heard someone complain about cold weather more than you. And that's like in LA. And it's like, not even, it's like 60 degrees in the winter. And I'm like, I'm freezing. So I just love sunshine and I love warmth. And that's why I love Hawaii. And honestly, I don't need seasons. I just don't. So living in a warm environment where I have sun every day really helps. And it has been rainy here in LA. So I got myself a little lamp that helps with like it mimics sunlight. And for some reason, it helps me. So for sure that raises my vibration. And my intention is to move to Hawaii full time too, because that's my place. And I just feel so aligned there. So our environment matters and our environment can also help to raise our vibration, right? Whenever you feel in alignment with where you live, you will really notice, and if you're in a place where you don't feel aligned, there's of course things you can do because I feel that personally living in LA, I just don't feel fully aligned with it. which is why we got our place in Maui so that I could dip in there quite a bit. But our intention is to move there full time because I notice I have to do more self-care work and inner work here in LA because, there's a lot of energy here and I feel like I'm a pretty sensitive person. So I like to be in a place where there's just a bit less, it's a bit calmer. So environment matters and it can help to either lower or raise your vibration. Okay. Another one is creating my business in a way that's aligned for me, in a way where I'm growing at a pace that I want to, where I feel like I love that I have what I kind of call like a boutique style, like high touch, where it's like I don't have a million clients, but I know the clients that I have and I love them. And instead of being really wide and shallow, it feels a little more like narrow and deep. And that I feel so connected to. I love my business. I love my clients. It's a very like the work that we do is deep, transformational, and it feels like it's aligned with my energy and it's aligned with my values and it's aligned with what lights me up. And one thing that raises my vibration is really going all in on my business and stretching myself in my business, right? So for me, growth is one of my greatest values. So I actually love stretching myself and doing that and doing launches and, really just like CEOing this business. It feels like it raises my vibration. It really does. Is it easy all the time? No, definitely not. There's a 50-50, but it's like behind it, it raises my vibration because I feel like this is what my soul is here to do. And I absolutely love that. It feels so creative. Another thing that I do on a daily basis is I set intentions every day. Every single day, I will write out a mantra. I will write 3 things that I'm grateful for. I will write 3 things that I'm excited about for the day and my intentions for the day, right? Who do I want to be today? What do I want to focus on today? Asking myself those questions, and then I get my intentions for the day from them. And doing that, I think, raises my vibration on a daily basis. Um, Another thing is taking weekends off. So, like I said, I push hard in my business, not in a bad way, but like I stretch myself. I'm like all about expanding in my business and breaking through what I think is possible. Um, and with that, I also balance that out with taking weekends completely off, right? Me and my husband, we go to the beach. Sometimes we go to the mall, we go to the movies, right? We do things that have nothing to do with business. And that has been so good for us. For him, he loves it. He used to be, I'm going to call it a quote unquote workaholic and never stopped working. So that took a lot of inner work for him to start doing, but he noticed, oh my gosh, how much more productive he is actually because he slows down. And then also we have time to really connect, me and him and our dog, our little family. Um, and yeah, having that definitely, like I noticed, I start out my day feeling completely different because I really let myself unplug. Another thing that I do is take consistent vacations. And I am so grateful for this. And I'm telling you, I know it sounds like, oh gosh, it must be nice for you. But I started doing this before I had money. I would literally like go to Vegas or like go somewhere close that I could drive to and or go to Santa Barbara and stay somewhere that was not very expensive, right? Like I would do it on a massive budget even before I had overflow in my life. And it's something that I've just kept up. In fact, my whole life, I've really taken lots of trips. And it's something I love, it's something I value. I notice that like the reason that raises my vibration is because me and Josh both work from home. So it's hard to turn off work completely when you're here. I feel like I'm still in this like vibrational state of sort of working because my office is upstairs, this is on the side of the house. so, so I notice like that whenever I take a vacation, it really does allow me to fully unplug from it and it helps so much. And I also find so much joy in it. And I tend to do more beach vacation, tropical, see the whales, and just do the things that light us up. And it's a way for us again to connect. And I just noticed that I come back feeling so rejuvenated and more creative. So it's a priority for me. And I really do look at it as part of my business plan because it raises my vibration. All right. Let me see if I missed any. Okay. Yeah. I think, oh, I had some other fun ones. Two others that I'll mention. Um, Another one is that having a hot tub. That one raises my vibration, right? And I actually just, whenever we bought this house and had a hot tub, it happened to. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I will never not have a hot tub from now on. It is one of my favorite things to do to unplug. Me and Josh always go in the hot tub. We'll go a couple times a week. We have very deep conversations in there, or just fun conversations. It's just a great way to unplug and connect. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm just always going to have this because it's one of those routines that I can do like weekly that helps me reset, right? So you can think of these things that I'm mentioning as like ways to raise your vibration. You can think of them as the self care that helps to nourish you. You can think of it as what helps to reset your nervous system. What are the things that light you up in life, right? All of those are things that will raise your vibrational state. And the last one, which this is a fun one, is I do Rent the Runway every month. Actually, I have a plan where I get it twice a month now. And I just love wearing designer clothes. I love cute clothes, but I do not like shopping and I don't like picking out clothes for myself. But there's something about Rent the Runway where it's like you're not really committing to it because you can just send it back if you don't like it. But I get to try all these fun new clothes and I get to change them every 2 weeks. And if I'm going on vacation, I get to pick out a wardrobe for that. And I don't know, I just feel like wearing clothes that feel like what I would consider my future self or that make me feel elevated. It really makes a difference. I feel better because I used to literally like not get ready and wear workout clothes if I didn't have calls and I wouldn't do my makeup. And gosh, do I notice a difference in how I feel. It feels like my state is heightened or expanded when I get ready, when I, do my hair every day, I do my makeup, I dress myself nicely, even if I'm not seeing anyone, I'm wearing nice clothes from head to toe. And it really, for me, makes a difference. Now, this is not going to be the case for everyone. My best friend loves her pickleball. She's like, nope, I will wear my Lululemons all day, every day, and I feel amazing. But I'm like, nope, I like getting ready. I like getting dressed. I feel different. I feel elevated when I do it. So that's the last but not least. It was kind of a fun one. And I was even thinking of what are some of the things, like as I was going through this list, I was thinking, what are some of the things that actually I do now that kind of lower my vibration that maybe I want to start, like making some shifts around? And I was thinking, I want less for this next year. I think my new habit is going to be boundaries around screen time, right? And I don't have an issue with like actually social media lately. It's actually work stuff. Slack and emails. I need some boundaries around those because I notice that like I'll wake up and I'll look at it. It's like, wait, no, those are not working hours, Jamie. And then I get sucked into it. And it's not good, right? I want a little bit more like boundaries between work and like I said, because sometimes I feel like I'm always working whenever I'm in the house, and I don't want to feel that way, right? It feels better when there's separation. And I feel like I can really give my all to my work when I'm in it. I'm not kind of like, mixing that time. So that's for sure something I want to shift that I know will be like something that expands me and helps to raise my vibration moving forward. Want to start up weight training again. For sure. I miss it. Always feel so good. Just got to do it. I just got to take courageous action and do it before I feel ready. Right. And then again, like moving full time to Hawaii is another one that I'm very excited about in the next, 2 years. I think, our plan is 2025 to move over there. So I'm excited about that as well. And so I just want to offer that to you. And I actually want to ask you, what's one thing, right? Like, what is one thing in the next 6 months that you could just commit to starting and start small? Like, do not overwhelm yourself. If you're like, oh my God, Jamie, what am I going to do? I drink. I don't have boundaries with my phone. Don't take vacations. I'm working on weekends. Believe me, been there, right? Like I said, this is 15 years in the making. So do not overwhelm yourself. One thing at a time. That's exactly how all of this unfolded. It was one habit at a time. And then once you build the habit of it, then you can add on another one because it's just who you are. It doesn't even feel like you're trying. So that would be my recommendation is pick one thing. And I'd love to hear from you, in fact. Like, tell me what your thing is. Either leave me a podcast review and share, like, what is the one thing you're excited to shift? Or send me a DM on Instagram. I would love to hear from you and hear what resonated for you or, what you're going to shift in the coming 6 months. All right. This was a fun episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have. And I will talk to y'all next week. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope this episode is something that you'll be able to add to your manifestation toolbox to come back to when you need a little extra motivation. If you like what you've heard today and want to take it deeper, you've got to come check out my signature coaching program, the Money Manifestation Movement. It's the place where you'll not only learn manifestation, but you'll begin to live it alongside me and an amazing community of like-minded entrepreneurs doing this work together. Head on over to jamieberman.com to learn more.